It's your favorite YouTube dealer. I appreciate you guys for stopping in. We got some new Harry Mack today. The music has been unbelievable. And for once, I'm finally jumping on it the same day that the song dropped, thanks to his IG community. I got an invite to join, so I figured I may as well. And it's nice to get a notification to know when he drops something new, because I know Fridays for sure, but the music, it kind of could be different days, and I tend to miss it, and then we're a little bit late. But either way, it's called Nikola Tesla, which is interesting in itself. I'm not going to sit here and explain who that is. Definitely Google him, learn a little bit about him, because I feel like it's important. This man is the creator of creators, the inventor of inventors, I don't have another thing to roll with, but you know where I'm getting at. Like he was that guy. Now there's obviously a lot of conspiracy around him with free energy and that they stopped him from being able to do it. And there's a lot of mixed stuff that goes on with that. Like there are some things that I do feel like he could have elaborated on and made better and better. And we might be in a different place technologically right now as far as energy and all that. What he did come up with, though, to an extent worked. There was some things that he was wrong about, which I think some people that are really into the conspiracies don't consider. But there's also things that he laid the groundwork for, like cell phones, Wi-Fi. Like he didn't create those things, but a lot of his work was like the foundation for where a lot of this shit came from. So you got to give this man his respect. I'm curious what Harry's going to say. Let's dive in.
Nikola Tesla, the flow's inventive. No physical evidence, no forensics. Left behind when I wreck your mind with expensive rhymes. So we so pretentious. Yeah, but no golden necklace. Who's the most golded? Ain't no consensus. When they talk about me, they say bro's relentless. For sure they meant it. For sure they meant it.
I like the way that he started this out. So again, I'm not going to go into super long detail, but when he says,
Nikola Tesla, the flow's inventive. No physical evidence, no forensics.
No physical evidence, no forensics left behind, and said the flow's inventive. So a lot of stuff that revolves around the conspiracy with Nikola Tesla is that when he died, a lot of his things that he was working on were just not there. Like there was a lot of stuff that people felt were missing from his house. And that's where the conspiracy kind of gets grounded in, if I'm not mistaken, where they feel like he died on interesting terms, like it was somebody else or some people that came in and made it happen and then took his work, or he died naturally. I actually don't know, but either way, people came in and potentially took his work and didn't want certain things to get out to the public, or didn't want people to, you know, further some of the inventions that he had or the ones that he was currently working on and stuff like that. And so that's where a lot of conspiracy comes in, and I like that he kind of plays that in the very beginning of this. Flow's inventive, and then how no forensics, no nothing is left behind, because then it also alludes to his rapping, right? Like I freestyle and stuff like that, but there's nothing that you can physically see that shows you how I'm doing this, what I'm doing. You know, the greatness that I'm bringing to you is just kind of, it's up for talk, debate, whatever it is.
Left behind when I wreck your mind with expensive rhymes. So we so pretentious. Yeah, but no golden necklace. Who's the most golded? Ain't no consensus. When they talk about me, they say bro's relentless. For sure they meant it. For sure they meant it. Lock the doors and close the fences. Regardless, all my foes defenseless against this. Leaving frozen senseless. Reap what you sow, so my growth is endless. Killing every rapper in your local census. Me and my team, they're my co-defendants. When they talk about me, they say bro's relentless. For sure they meant it. For sure they meant it.
I like
rappers
this.
I need an improvement. Ain't hard to see that they losing. I really bleed for this music. Right now the speakers are oozing. I'm who the people are choosing. Don't let the media feed you illusions. They got you steeped in confusion. I bring the heat when abusing these beats, and I'm leaving the deepest contusions.
I like the rhyme scheme. First of all, the flow switch was dope. Extremely dope. But then he got to the point where it's like, now the speakers are oozing. They got you steeped in confusion. Hold up. There's a point where he started to switch up the rhyme scheme itself that was really, really dope.
They got you steeped in confusion. I bring the heat when abusing.
Okay, hold up. It might have been before that, actually.
They meant it. Rappers I need an improvement. Ain't hard to see that they losing. I really bleed for this music.
So far, see that they lose and bleed for this music. Very straightforward. Dope multis, though.
Right now the speakers are oozing. I'm who the people are choosing. Don't let the media feed you.
Then right there, don't let the media feed you illusion. So he added an extra syllable to rhyme in there, but still kind of kept with the same rhyme pattern with just an extra added in syllable.
Illusions, they got you steeped in confusion.
Then he went back to the steeped in confusion.
I bring the heat when abusing these beats, and I'm leaving.
I bring the heat when abusing these beats, and I'm leaving the deepest contusion. So then he started to split it into like, so it's like, instead of it just being a bar, which is almost like, let's just say a sentence, right? Like this, boom, I make this statement, and then I make the next statement that rhymes with that. He started to now play with where it was rolling into the next thing that he was saying, but keeping the same rhyme pattern and scheme. Like, it's hard to say without like writing it down and like showing you exactly what I'm trying to say. I'm not the greatest at always explaining things, but this is extremely dope.
music. Right now the speakers are oozing. I'm who the people are choosing. Don't let the media feed you illusions. They got you steeped in confusion. I bring the heat when abusing these beats, and I'm leaving the deepest contusions. Why are you sleeping and snoozing? Ain't you heard Nas on Nomadic? He told you that death was the cousin. You might be the next one the motherfucking Reaper is choosing. Speaking.
And that was extremely dope too, where he went away from the rhyme pattern for a second and then came back to it.
Using these beats and I'm leaving the deepest contusions. Why are you sleeping and snoozing? Ain't you heard Nas on Nomadic? He told you that death was the cousin.
See, ain't you heard Nas on Nomadic? He told you that death was the cousin. You might be. So like right there, he completely left behind the rhyme pattern that he was working with before and then goes right back to it. My man, yo, Harry's rhyme schemes are ridiculous.
You might be the next one the
Let me just go back so you can hear the whole thing through now.
Fusion.
My bad. I'm getting excited.
Using these beats and I'm leaving the deepest contusions. Why are you sleeping and snoozing? Ain't you heard Nas on Nomadic? He told you that death was the cousin. You might be the next one the motherfucking Reaper is choosing. Speaking of Reaper, I bet you that he found it cheeky and deeply amusing. When I couldn't seem to refuse smoking reefer and eagerly seeping the boozing, sneaky abusing. They call me an alien when I'm freestyling, but now that I'm leaking my secrets on beats to diffuse them. Out to the people who peep when I'm speaking the truth, man, I guess I be seeming more human.
I'm not gonna sit and go through all, but he's doing the same thing again with a lot of this part right here, where he's keeping somewhat of a same rhyme pattern, adding an extra syllable in at times, going away for coming like this man's ability to write and his understanding of the rhyme schemes and the rhythm is just ridiculous.
But I bet you that he found it cheeky and deeply amusing. When I couldn't seem to refuse smoking reefer and eagerly seeping the boozing, sneaky abusing. They call me an alien when I'm freestyling, but now that I'm leaking my secrets on beats to diffuse them.
See, again, right there, I have to stop it because it's just I like his thought process when it comes to this. So it's all like deeply amusing is a lot of the rhyme pattern.
Amusing. When I couldn't seem to refuse smoking reefer.
Can't get my words out. Hold up, yo. That's the kind of shit I should cut out, but I'm not. You gotta keep it raw and organic.
In the Reaper, I bet you that he found it cheeky and deeply amusing. When I couldn't seem to refuse smoking reefer and eagerly seeping the boozing, sneaky abusing. They call me an alien when I'm freestyling, but now that I'm leaking my secrets on beats to diffuse them. Out to the people who peep when I'm speaking the truth, man, I guess I be seeming more human. 10 million votes when I'm freaking these beats, so you could easily confuse them with Nikola Tesla. The flow was invented.
I like that. That was dope. But yeah, anyways, I don't mean to like pause and like cut it up so much. I know some people like the explanations, some people don't, but just the way that he was playing with it, where he's going with it like it's a very straightforward rhyme, which straightforward doesn't mean it's not dope. Just make sure I make that clear. But it's very straightforward as far as like he's hitting these 3 or 4 multi-syllables, bar, 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 and then all of a sudden he decides I'm going to add something extra in there, and then there's times where he goes away from it and gives you a line or two of stuff that doesn't even rhyme with what he was rolling with, but he does it at the perfect timing. Then he comes back to it at the end of those 2 bars. So you think that he's starting to go another direction, but my man comes right back around and hits you with the same rhyme pattern. And it's just really, really dope. I like when people do that. Rhyme schemes really get me excited. And it has to be done right though. There's a lot of people that will try to play around with it, but they do it at the wrong time, or they start to go that direction off the wrong bar, and it doesn't fit. It doesn't sound as fluid and nice. The way that he does it just sounds beautiful. Like the seep and the boozing. And honestly, he was stretching it out already when he got to the part of the seep and the boozing and stuff. I'm leaking my secrets, man. I guess it make me seem more human. The flow, like it's dope. It's hard because it's like I'm skipping past the parts where I actually want to be able to talk about it. But here, let me go back a little bit. So he was rhyming with seep and the boozing. Did that if you were smoking reefer. Deeply amusing. Couldn't seem to refuse smoking reefer. And eagerly seeping the boozing. So it's like he kept coming back to that same rhyme pattern, but then all of a sudden he quickly added another rhyme to it right away. So seeping the boozing, sneaky abusing. So he hit that rhyme and then decided now I'm going to go away with it. And because he hit that rhyme right afterwards, it still had that fluidness to it. And it was okay that he went away from it for these next couple of lines here, where he said, they call me an alien when I'm freestyling, but now that I'm leaking my secrets, I'm beats to diffuse them. So then he comes right back to it. So he's able to stretch it out longer because he hit that rhyme in the very beginning and connected it with the last bar. And then he can go further with it before he has to hit that rhyme again. But again, it has to be done in the proper way. Otherwise, it just sounds off. And some people do it and they don't get it. And they get mad when you try to explain it to them, which happened during a live stream I was having with the homie DK, where we were explaining to somebody why his rhyme scheme, like he had the right idea, but he was placing things in the wrong spot. And it kind of messed up the flow and it messed up the way that it felt to the listener, and he got kind of upset about it, unfortunately. But wish him the best. I'm sure he'll get there soon.
Beats to diffuse them out to the people who peep when I'm speaking the truth. Man, I guess I'll be seeming more human.
The internals,
10 million votes
everything.
when I'm freaking these beats. So you could easily confuse them with Nikola Tesla. The flow's inventive. No physical evidence, no forensics. Left behind when I wreck your mind with expensive rhymes. So we so pretentious.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't realize this was the hook. To be real with you, I thought it was just the intro to the song.
Yeah, but no golden necklace. Who's the most goated? Ain't no consensus. When they talk about me, they say bro's relentless. For sure they meant it. For sure they meant it. Lock the doors and close the fences. Regardless, all my foes defenseless against this. Leave them frozen senseless. Reap what you sow, so my growth is endless. Killing every rapper in your local census. Me and my team, they're my co-defendants. When they talk about me, they say bro's relentless. For sure they meant it. For sure they meant it. We should probably chill, homie. Why you mad? LL Cool J, cause I am bad. And I'm hard as hell, homie. Ironclad.
Let's go.
Up in the science lab. Learning that you better, you denying facts. Get up on my session with your lying ass.
I like the way that he's doing this flow. Like that's dope. That's dope. And the way that he's doing it, obviously he's rhyming it with the dying fast. I ain't bad. Trying last. Like I like that. That's actually a dope little flow. My man's got the pockets, man. I
Why
swear.
you mad? LL Cool J, cause I am bad. And I'm hard as hell, homie, ironclad. Finding chemicals up in the science lab. Learning that you better, you denying facts. Get up on my session with your lying ass. Stepping in correct, you could be dying fast. Sitting with the cannonball, giant splash. Top gun maverick, I'm flying past. All you little wag dudes, why you gas? Pull up with unleaded, but your tires slash. I ain't gotta lease it, I could buy in cash. But I don't waste money on the kind of trash. Depreciate as soon as you be driving that. Off the line of a car on the shiny flash. I don't need it cause I got the touch, Midas tag.
Yeah, you got to rock with him. First of all, I like that his message is, listen, I ain't just gonna go purchase a car. Like I don't need to lease it. I could buy it, but I ain't gonna do that because it's pointless. It depreciates the moment you drive it off the lot. That's the truth. I never understood when people be collecting cars and doing like some of that shit don't make no sense to me. I mean, I get it. Do what you want to do. Have fun, live the life that you want to live. You made your money. You can spend it how you want. But I like how he's like, I ain't gonna be doing that kind of stuff. And I also like how he made the comment about how he's got the Midas touch, because he does. Any beat this man touches is gold. There's beats that he's rapped to that I'm like, I'm here and there on the beat, and then I hear him do his thing. I'm like, yo, that shit kind of fire. I ain't gonna lie to you. That was kind of dope.
As soon as you be driving that off the line of a car on the shiny flash. I don't need it cause I got the touch, Midas tag. You ain't read it, tell me why the fuck you signing that. Thought you owned it all just because you write your raps. Record label take a stack, they divide in that. And they own your masters, they got a line for that. Worked hard for your talent, had to grind for that. Now you wish you couldn't do it, then rewind it back. Ain't it shocking? Electrifying Zad. 10 million volts every time I lightning crack. I'm like Nikola Tesla, the flow's invented.
I didn't expect that he was gonna go through that entire verse doing that. As far as the sign in that, I am bad, trying that, but he did, and it worked. And it worked really, really well, to be honest with you. And like he said, just because you write in your raps don't mean that you own them. And I've said this in other like reactions, so I'm not going to go too crazy with it, but you got to be really careful with this whole I want to be a part of a label thing, right? Because first of all, they do sign you over, and a lot of times they own your masters. The only time that I feel like people end up owning their own masters is if you bring a big crowd with you. Like if you've already blown up and you're doing crazy numbers and you feel like I want that extra reach this label can give me, because there is a ceiling, right? As much as people want to say that you can do everything as an independent artist, you can live off of it and you could be happy, make a ton of money, and you're good. But as far as if you ever are like, yo, I want to reach that mainstream level, I want to be a name like a Drake, like a Nicki Minaj, like a Lil Wayne, like, as much as I hate to say it, like you need a label for that. Like there's at least as of right now, I think in the next decade or so, that's going to change. But as of right now, there's very few people that independently reach the status where their name becomes household names, so to speak, where they're known amongst the Lil Waynes, the Drakes, you know what I'm saying? Like talent wise, they may be. Like Harry's the greatest freestyler ever. Like he deserves to be up there with the great names, in my opinion, because he's taken an aspect of rap and he's mastered it. But you're not necessarily going to see that, right? And even if he signed with a label, there's no guarantee that's going to happen, but they have the next level ability to push you, right? And so it does change things. I do, again, think that that's going to change in the next decade or so. Maybe more than a decade, but around that time, I feel like things are going to drastically change. We'll see if I'm right, but in the meantime, you got to be careful, because like a lot of people don't ever make it to that point. The percentage is super small. They end up signing you to own your masters, which then if you do start to blow up, you're in a spot, right? And people pay crazy amounts to get their masters back. And sometimes it works out. Like J. Cole said, he had to, he basically said in his last track, I Might Delete This Later Volume 2, about how he had to buy his masters back. But, he got to the point where he was one of those names. And so for him, it was possible. And it worked out for him, but I'm sure he paid more money than he wanted to. Regardless, there's a lot of other things that go into it. Like they may give you an advance and you're like, yo, they want to give me $500,000, $1 million or whatever, well, you have to pay that back. And then on top of that, they're going to tell you that you owe a percentage of each album sale that you make to them. And sometimes that percentage is not in your favor because they're like, well, we're going to push it. We're going to promote it. We're going to get it in front of all these people. We're going to put you on these different shows. Da, 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 da. Next thing you know, they're taking 70, you're taking 30%. Well, out of that 30%, you've got to pay back that $500,000, that million, that whatever it is that they gave you. And so if you don't sell enough, which a lot of people nowadays don't with streaming platforms and stuff. And I get like, I guess they maybe take that into account to an extent, but you don't make much off of those either. Like you end up putting yourself in debt. It's not a very good place to be. So definitely be careful about that if you're an artist. And honestly, just take the money that you can make independently. And even though you might not be a household, like it doesn't matter. You're known to the people that rock with your music, and that's really what matters.
They got a line for that. Worked hard for your talent, had to grind for that. Now you wish you couldn't do it, then rewind it back. And it's shocking, electrifying that. 10 million volts every time I lightning crack. I'm like Nikola Tesla, the flow's inventive. No physical evidence, no forensics. Left behind when I wreck your mind with expensive rhymes. So we so pretentious. Yeah, but no golden necklace. Who's the most golded? Ain't no consensus. When they talk about me, they say bro's relentless. For sure they meant it, for sure they meant it. Lock the doors and close the fences. Regardless, all my foes defenseless against this. Leave them frozen senseless. Reap what you sow, so my growth is endless. Killing every rapper in your local census. Me and my team, they're my co-defendants. When they talk about me, they say bro's relentless. For sure they meant it, for sure they meant it.
Okay, this was dope. I was very long-winded in this reaction, so I appreciate anybody that's still here. You guys are literally the greatest of all time. And I haven't done this in a minute, so if you're still here and you do decide to leave a comment, I know not everybody does, leave a pineapple with your comment. That way I know that you made it to the end and you listened to me rambling on and shit like that, and I appreciate you for that. If you didn't make it here, it is what it is. I still appreciate you guys for clicking on the video, but yeah, Harry Mack is extremely dope. I would say that as much as I liked this, and I liked the whole angle of Nikola Tesla and stuff like that and how he utilized it in his chorus, I would say it's not my favorite hook from him. Out of all the songs he's dropped, it's not my favorite. It's functional. It does its thing. I'm not taking anything away from it. I still think that it came across dope. But if I had to gauge and like rank the different hooks that he's given in the songs that he's dropped lately, I'd say this one is closer to the bottom of that list. It just wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Like some of the ones that he did were next level. And again, I'm not taking anything away from it. I still enjoyed this, obviously, or I wouldn't have talked as long as I did. But I just like to compare and contrast based on other things that people have done and shit like that. My man Harry is on a path. For anybody that knows me, you know what I'm talking about. Anybody that stops in the live stream, I like to say, yo, he's on a path. He's just gotta keep going. Anyways, I appreciate you guys. Let me know what you guys thought down below. Looking forward to some pineapples. So I know that some people, listen to me bitch the whole way through this. Or not bitch, but you know what I'm saying. Listen, I'm chatting at this point. Take it easy. Stay safe. I'll catch you in the next one, homie.